Hey, I'm just realizing that my mic wasn't in the right spot, so you weren't going to hear me. And then I knocked over a bunch of crap with the wire. So that's a good way to start things off. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I've been on a sort of, I feel like supposed to be doing this, or not supposed to be, but wanting to do this every week and just give myself an hour every week to pop on and say, hey. And do a little drawing. But I've been finding more and more lately that I'm so busy that even this hour is hard to do and take and set aside. But so last week I was not able to get on. But here I am. And for those of you who are waiting on the commissions that I did in the last live streams, those are all going out this week. All the books and commissions and things that people have ordered are going out. If you want a commission of your own, I'm going to be at IC3 coming up in the beginning of the second week in March here, I think it is. The commission list is open for that. And, you can always get them off my store or join the Patreon to get them for a little bit less. You just got to wait a little while to get them. And they should be, I try to be as fast at turning those around as possible. Doesn't always work out that way, but, I try to be reasonable about it. Anywho, let me see here. Lots happened since last we talked. I got a lot of pages done, which is great. And I've just been I'm on a regular series plus doing some other things right now on top of it, and so it's sort of been this balancing act of trying to get everything in with as high a quality as I can, and it's working out. So that's a good thing. I don't feel as stressed as I used to. Things are at a good clip right now. So I found out that I can multitask and do multiple projects at one time, and it's good to find that out about yourself. You know what I mean? So right now, you'll see here. Well, let me kind of just pop in here real quick with the board. There it is. Things to show off. So last week I got one of those mystery boxes from Desert Island Press, and usually it comes with a few things. This time it just came. It was a little jacked up. Came with a mini comic and this book. Stages of Rot. It says this edition of Stages of Rot includes a new 17-page companion piece titled Blood Codex, the 2018 Eisner nominee for Best Graphic Album. Mocha Arts Festival Award for Excellence, gold winner of the long form category. Published by Piao 2. I've never heard of them. Anyway, this book was super cool to get, I have to say. So it's got kind of these like end papers that are stuck inside of it like this. It's kind of interesting. But I don't know if any of you saw Scavenger's Reign. It was a really great show, and sadly it had one season and then that was it. But, I encourage you to watch it anyway. It's everything that most comic lovers would love if you love the works of Mobius or people like that, some of the heavy metal stuff. And this feels a lot like that. It's sort of this alien world, not a lot of dialogue in it, and real kind of streamlined art, simple coloring. Looks like it's watercolored, maybe digital, not sure. But it looks a lot like Scavenger's Reign, a lot. And I'm not sure if one influenced the other. I mean, this would have influenced Scavenger's Reign, I imagine, if they did in fact meet somehow. But gosh, it's mostly silent, and like the style of it is just so simple and beautiful. I love these lines, and these ticks here, they feel a lot like, I don't know if you can really see them, but like on that gray area, that feels a lot like a Mobius line. You know, just keeping it simple, something that I am terrible at. It's just, I have a different style is all, but I really love and appreciate this kind of style, real simple figures and stuff like that. It almost feels like Winsor McKay inspired. Winsor McKay is one of my favorites of all time. This is one of those, looks like one of those, crap, I can't remember what it's called, like an early mammal. But yeah, really cool book. And you know, if you're gonna be getting a mystery box, and you know, generally you're used to getting a few different books in it, you know, of varying quality. You're gonna get a like a zine, and then this. Hey, that's worth it for me. Because yeah, this is something I have never heard of it. I don't know how it missed my radar, but it did. I'm gonna kind of get into drawing kind of quick this week, I think, because nothing really else to talk about. Tomorrow, the episode 34 of CCXCC, Chris Claremont X-Men Comic Club, comes out. And that'll be for issue 123 of X-Men. So grab your copy of 123 if you got it, and check it out. I actually still have to do the thumbnail for that, so I can't forget to do that tonight, and edit the video and put it up. Got to do all of it. And speaking of X-Men, so I am going to be part of SEWER BOYZ 2, which was SEWER BOYZ 1 was I was also a part of that. It's the Ink and Drink Long Beach group puts out these sort of remixes, kind of retelling of the first one was SEWER BOYZ was Ninja Turtles number one. So a bunch of artists got together, did their version of the pages however they wanted to do them. I told it pretty straight. I just sort of did it the way that I would have laid it out. And then I did a couple pinups. And God, that book, I tell you, I would bring that to shows, and it would fly right off the shelves. I ran out of them very quickly. I think it might actually, I take that back, I might have one or two left. And now SEWER BOYZ 2 is coming out, so they were having suggestions of, you know, what can we remix this time? And since I'm doing CCXCC with John Coates, the first thing that popped into my mind was, well, let's do Giant Size X-Men. And that was the ding, ding, ding winner. I guess they had talked about doing that in the past too, so it made sense for them. And they sort of assign a couple pages to the different artists, and then some other artists will just do pinups and things like that. There's so many artists involved in it. I couldn't even sit here and rattle them all off. I don't know if Erwin Papa is here, but he's kind of one of the guys that leads the charge of this whole thing. I was really crossing my fingers that I was going to get some Nightcrawler pages, but alas, I did not. But what I did get was still pretty interesting. So here's like the closest thing that I have to Giant Size X-Men number one, and it's a reprinting of it. And it's called the special edition, and then it's just got like another like Kitty Pryde story in the back. There's the cover for Giant Size X-Men 1. And let's see. great. Look at this, like colored pencil. It looks like a kid got a hold of it and colored it. Cockrum from '82. So he's even got Kitty Pryde in there. So this is like later. And a little blurb from Louise Jones, who would later become Louise Simonson. But yeah, the first new team after the old guard sort of split up was Wolverine, Storm, Warpath, Banshee, Sunfire, Colossus, and Nightcrawler. And this is written by Len Wein and drawn by Dave Cockrum, who he inked it himself too. So it opens up with this great this introduction of Night to Nightcrawler, and man, he's my favorite. He's my favorite out of all of them. He just kind of shows up and kind of steals the show for me, because he can do all sorts of cool things with teleporting, but then hide in the shadows and kind of disappear. I guess later that sort of goes away as one of his powers, but a lot of just silhouette pictures, poses of him. Let's see here. Can't wait to see my Sewer Boys 2-page as well. You know what? I can't either, because I'm about to start them. You'll see in a second here, but yeah. So I love Banshee, the way that he was drawn back then. He just looks like a little leprechaun. And then they introduced Storm. The thing with Storm is Storm in the Claremont run, and when she's introduced, she's topless here. She just loves to be absolutely naked. And so my page, these are the 2 pages actually right here that I was asked to recreate in my own way, in my own interpretation. I think a lot of people are plugging in different characters all together from different things, or getting wild, getting crazy, doing cool stuff. I'm gonna keep it with the X-Men characters. I'll mix it up a little bit, like when Storm enters, my page is you're gonna basically see everything. There's no need to censor it anymore. And I'm a heavy metal artist. I will draw it like I see it. Thing was, when I was laying out the letters yesterday, look at how verbose this stuff is, and this isn't even the Claremont stuff. This is Len Wein drawing. There's so much text on this stuff. But it just like really lends to being sort of a little bit pervy. It says, once more, the howling winds came up and sweep the storm goddess away. She soars aloft like an ebon bird, lightning lancing from her fingertips, the glow of life shining full upon her face. She's happy here. She's truly happy here among the elements, and a raging sky, touched by her happiness, weeps. When the storm goddess returns to earth at last, her joy is shared by all. A most impressive display, Aurora. Truly beautiful. So it's like a thought bubble, because it's Professor X communicating through his mental powers, and it's just, who are you? What business have you in Aurora's land? I am called Xavier, and I have come to make you an offer. I pray that you will not refuse. An offer? What have you to offer a goddess? And then it goes on to, I have a land, Aurora, and people who adore you. I offer you a world and people who may fear you, hate you, but people who need you nonetheless. A world I offer you is not beautiful, but it is real, far more real than the fantasy that you're living now. You are no goddess, Aurora. You are a mutant, and you have responsibilities. Come with me, child. Taste the world outside, and you may find its flavor bitter or surprisingly sweet. You present a most peculiar argument, yet I sense a deep sincerity in your words. All right, I will come with you. Like, they emphasize come every time it says it, which is wild to me. Perhaps the time has come for me to leave the nest at last. So that is sort of her intro. She's got a half of like a 3/4 of a page here, a full page here, and then the top of this one. And then they introduce Sunfire. Sunfire is such a dick. It says Osaka, Japan. Two old acquaintance share tea in a splendid garden of Shiro Yoshida. I know your feelings towards the Western world, Shiro, and I would not have come to you. But you require help that only I can give. So I owe you nothing, Professor, but perhaps I owe something to myself. Perhaps it is time once more for the world to hear from Sunfire. And then Sunfire shows up for one little thing. This feels like it should have been like so much bigger. And Sunfire is like the coolest costume ever. And then Lake Baikal, Siberia. It has been a good year for the Ust-Odinsky Ordinsky Collective Farm. The crop has been larger than expected. The wheat fills the fields like an amber sea, and those who toil in the fields are filled with the feeling of satisfaction, the knowledge of a job well done, and fear. Peter, look, your sister. What is... No, shoot, I didn't see that one earlier, that last little line. Anyway, that's okay. Actually, maybe because I was looking at like a digital copy of it, a modern digital copy of it. Maybe they got that out there because it's like so... I don't know, maybe they took it out. I'm not sure. Anyway, so what I did is I took all the text and I printed it out. I typed it and printed it out in blue line. There is so much text. And, you know, I didn't lay this out yet. I put an arrow in. That's where it's going to have to go. This is not how I would normally lay out a page at all. But I did leave some room for, you know, Sunfire to kind of show up here and do something great in his introduction. And then, you know, have a little bit more down here with Colossus being introduced. And Colossus is the way that Cockrum always draws him. Like, there's no room for like a brain case in his head. It is so bizarre, especially when the Claremont run starts going. So I'm definitely going to have to give him, like, exaggerate the fact that he has no top of his head. And then, you know, I don't know, when Sunfire like is introduced, he's so like bitchy. He's already got a chip on his shoulder, and he's like, perhaps it's time once more for the world to hear from Sunfire. And I was like, well, maybe he's like in drag or something, like, you know, his alternate identity, you know, where he can be somebody else. And then yeah, I think that Xavier, like, he just comes across as like a satanic figure, so I'm gonna give him horns. Why the hell not? So let's see here. Let's take a look. So we're gonna get into it. I kind of need this to be here, actually. I don't really need to see the pages because I don't want to be super influenced by them. But you got Sunfire here, so his head has to sort of be there. And let's see here. Let's just kind of go. And I put Sunfire, like the name, in blue lines so I could draw over the top of it. So we'll do it sort of in flames. And again, this is not the way that I would normally lay out a page whatsoever. I'd plan it out. I'd make sure that it flowed well, you know, but my time is running out because of other obligations, I wasn't able to get to this, and it's due. These 2 pages are due in like a couple days, so I need to kind of get moving on it, and this is the perfect time for me to do it. So I have to just sort of figure out where things are going to go, and flow be damned to the page. And then normally I would have probably just like hand written the lettering. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, there's so much. Now I could have like, obviously this is kind of do whatever you want with it. I could have abbreviated it, and I could have had no words at all. But I went with the actual words because, like, if you alter the images that it goes, it really is. It becomes like this weird suggestive thing. So let's do this. Come out and do the contrapposto kind of thing. The shoulder up here and the hip the opposite way. Do like a closet door here. So the way that the page is working here, you've got the dotted blue line here is sort of the safe area where you would normally put like panel edges or whatever. This is a full bleed one, and then you've got the cut. So it's pretty safe in here too. But where you want the focus is going to stay inside the dotted line, and then this is the trim. This is where they're going to cut it. So everything after that has to be. This is the full bleed. That anything outside of that dotted line isn't really going to be seen, but you got to draw it anyway, just in case the machine, the printer that cuts it doesn't cut it perfectly. I'm kind of looking up. This closet door here. Smiling, confident. Because like Sunfire in the story is such a little just like a bitchy little character. It's like a chip on his shoulder the whole time. It's kind of funny. And then also it's like Sunfire is like one of my favorite designs of all time. Like a feathered boa made of flames. Looks a little bit like Merman or something like that, you know? Not like a ton of shots of Sunfire in here. Not enough for my taste. I love Sunfire. Sunfire and Nightcrawler. If you could give me a Sunfire and Nightcrawler book to draw, I'd be very happy. Yeah, at that point, that's... So you get this one shot here, and he's kind of flying through the jungle. There we go. There's a couple more. I do not even like my fellow mutants, Cyclops. I certainly will not risk my life to help them. A lot of characters in the early X-Men that are just like mean. Just like everybody's catty. Let's see. Guess I got the mask sort of wrong here. Boa. And the arm going back here. To grab the closet door. I feel like the arm should actually be, well, what was I doing? Oop, that's right. And this shoulder should be up higher. That shoulder lower. The chest out. All right, so somehow I got to get the rest of the suit in here. I can kick a leg up here. I'd love to show like a high heel or fishnets or something here. It's gonna, no, it's not gonna bleed off completely, so okay. Eels are hard to draw. I don't know if any of you have ever had to draw them, but definitely an odd thing. And get them right. All right, at this point, I can probably get into this up here. Probably get into the inks. Let's see. You can see my pencils tend to be a hot mess. And that leg is still not right. All right, we're gonna figure it out later. Let's do some inks. This brush is being kind of weird to me. It's got too much flow in it right now. It's just dumping way too much ink for me to get any detail. What are you gonna do? Oh, I'm having a tough time with this brush. Oh, it's like it's like trying to draw with a 2x4. Sometimes the pencils get, my pencils, like I said, are really like a disaster. And sometimes, like to the point where when I start to ink, I can't really tell where something begins and something ends. It's not the greatest thing on earth, but when I clean it up, it'll be better. I really wish that I had more of these brushes, these Kuretake ones. I can't seem to find them anymore. So the pre-launch for the SEWER BOYZ 2 is up right now on Kickstarter. I will put a link to it in the show notes after all this is done. What can I do here? What can I do? Let's see if this one's performing better. Yeah, seems to be a little less heavy. Still feeling kind of heavy, but it's just is going to be what it is, I guess, at this point. So let me see. Got any like? Looks like he might be scaly, and then he's got some fire on his. He's got some like scaly, like Captain America-y kind of things here. Let's see. You switch to the Tombow hardtip ones. Used to use these Karatakes. Yeah, the Tombows are pretty close, but the thing with these, this one in particular, once you go up even one size larger, it it doesn't feel the same. And when they're fresh and you got a fresh tip on it, it just, you can't beat it. But like I said, I don't know. I guess they. Do you know if they stopped making them? I haven't been able to find them. Hey, Marco. All right, let me ink this Sunfire. So I remember it's there and I don't draw over the top of it. This is such a weird way to work because, like I said, like I normally would have done the lettering by hand. I would have already figured out what is going to happen on every page so that your eye can flow from one thing to the next. But I'm just going to go totally impromptu here and wing it, the entire thing. And it may be a complete disaster, but sometimes you got to question the rules and fundamentals that and make a page that might not live up to your normal standards, just so you can remind yourself why those rules apply. Like right now, Sunfire's looking this way, and the boot is getting kicked that way, although the text is going this way. So you want to lead to this panel, and right now I'm not doing a very good job of that at all. So maybe it's a case of like, I could have like maybe the back of the feather boa come down here or something. Marco. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, you couldn't find him either, but I couldn't. Yeah, you don't know the story. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him either. And I better talk something interesting because you're planning to listen to this for a while, huh? Well, man, now you're gonna make me want to come up with something interesting to say. Yeah, I said it last time that somebody was saying that they listened to it on their ride home, and I was like, oh no, oh no, this is like a visual thing. All right, let me look here. Let me see what I've got. I have a feeling I really hate this inking job so far. So let's get rid of this. What did I just draw? It wasn't on the face, right? To the sunfire. All right, let me just. Sometimes these pens will smear the crap out of the ink when you erase if it's too fresh. Maybe it was the bra, I think maybe. Yeah, that face is like weak as hell. All right, we got to get in. We got to get in there and do something with this face. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Let's get some detail. Let's go in with some microns. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go in with this this dip pen. I do love this thing. This the zebra G nib that flows until the end of time. The only problem is it flows too well sometimes, and the part where you grab it, it gets ink on it when you put the cap on. I mean, I'm just gonna get ink on myself. What? Who am I kidding? Let's make sure it's flowing. Here we go. Yes, it is. All right. Let's see. So, do. Let's find some more of him. He had such a weak intro in this book. And then I'm gonna go ahead and color this too. Everybody's coloring their pages. So the SEWER BOYZ 1 was black and white. This one is color. So that's kind of gonna be interesting to see how everybody colors their stuff. There is a Discord for Ink and Drink Long Beach. That's sort of where everybody meets. And I've been seeing some of the pages come in, but so many Discords and so little time that I don't always get to check what's happening. All right, so his lips need to be bigger. I also sort of like the idea that Sunfire comes in and is like so gruff and tough and is like, I'm not going to help you, but maybe it's time to, maybe this is the perfect time for me to break out my drag persona. who of course is going to help the X-Men. Little catty comments and all around joy. I'm so not used to, I've talked on here before about how, I did not know that you have to burn the oil and wax off of a nib until, this year. And so I never really messed around too much with any regularity with nibs. And I'm not used to them. I love the line that you can get, but I feel like I don't have the feels very like sketchy when I'm doing it, and I don't want that. I'm much more confident with the micron. So maybe in a second I need to switch back to that. Do some little designs on the bra here. So yeah, the regular monthly book that I am working on right now is I just finished the first issue of it with the team, and colors are coming in, and I gotta say it looks pretty damn good. So I'm very excited about it. Can't share anything about it yet, but rest assured you're going to be happy with the team that's involved if you are a lover of comics. Yeah, not loving this. Not getting the line I want. That doesn't look like me. Oh man, Daniel, from you from X-Men, half-page group hug shot. Sorry, I knew. Oh no, your own stuff. Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought there was one in here. Yeah, with 8 characters in it. Yeah, that's a lot. It really makes you appreciate these guys that did their own, or that did these like team books. Like Perez and stuff that would just pack in all these characters, or even like even these X-Men books. It's like just insane the amount of characters that they pack into stuff. I'm doing a story right now where it's not like well, actually, I'll show you the page. I'll show you a page from it. Between you all and me, because this isn't announced yet either. But this is a short story for something that's upcoming, and there are a ton of just crowd scenes that I am about to get into, because basically this is going to take place at Comic-Con, and there's going to be some sweeping Comic-Con scenes in here, so crowd scenes. So I'm very much looking forward to that. You just gotta kind of, I feel like when you get like big crowd shots and stuff like that, I feel like you just have to take your time, on those ones. Maybe save them for later, or tackle them right away, depending on what works best for you, I guess. But kind of really think about, first off, ways to do some creative blocking so that you don't have to draw as many people, and you can just sort of imply that that's happening. And then on the other side of it, you make sure that every character in there is sort of has weight to them and is doing something, even if they're just walking, somebody picking their nose, or somebody digging in their purse, or reacting to somebody else. And sometimes I need to take my own damn advice. That's what I need to do. Because already in that one, there were some people just kind of standing there. And even though, they're not the focus. They're not supposed to be the focus. But I mean, don't make it distracting. Because first of all, it's a crowd, and if there's something within the crowd that they're supposed to be focused on, by all means, make sure that however you compose that thing, it leads the eye to whoever you're supposed to be looking at. But then on the flip side of it, if you can have people doing a variety of things, it makes people want to kind of look like, spend some more time with it. I'm not saying you have to go full Jeff Darrow, but a little bit of something of extra stuff to be able to look at doesn't hurt. I always like when like John Byrne in the current line of where we're at right now on the Claremont run, there's a lot of times where he has to draw like, sort of inner city stuff. And the way that he sort of handles that is by putting graffiti everywhere. And it's funny to kind of look at it all and try to figure out what he means. Because he wasn't just putting stuff in there willy-nilly. It was like, friends' names and There's always a character in my stories that will have a shirt, wearing a shirt from one of my bands too. Hmm. Fire. All right, so the middle stripe on the costume is red. So I'm gonna go with heavier blacks on it. And then white, leave it alone. Heavier blacks. That's good. And then let's see, wrap around. It's got some sort of belt, looks like. Not really any good full body shots of him, but I think there's a good belt with some like waves on it. Maybe instead of high heel, it'll be like thigh high boots. That might make my life a little easier. So it's just like red. Let's see here. And then I feel like should be some like flames on the boot too. I mean, that's what I would do. Already seeing why it's a good idea to always plan out your pages. Scuffs. This is a do as I say, not as I do episode. I did an interview with Monty Keene. It came out. The first part came out yesterday. The other part will come out Friday. And he said he just goes for it. He starts at the top and goes down to the side. I can't do that. I'm having a hard time already just on this, like wrapping my brain around what I'm trying to be doing here. So I don't know how people do that consistently. I'm not like crazy when I plan it out. I mean, I got my set of rules in my head that I kind of stick to, and it goes pretty simple from there. But because I had to kind of put the word balloons on here first just to save time and get the direction too, I kind of limited myself. Gosh, this is really driving me crazy. It's like too much texture. All right, let's just see where I'm at. Let me get like a slatted. Go like. Like a slatted closet door. I ain't trying to get anything perfect. Go. to break it up here a little bit. All right, so some more erasing. Let's see where we're at. That's wet up there, otherwise I'd... Maybe like, okay, so maybe this is how I'm gonna make a directional here. I don't know what's going on with this brush. It's just like there's a pool of ink right here now. I wasn't doing that before. Really sucks. Sometimes these Pentel brushes just like freak out. I just hate dipping so much, and the promise of not having to dip is there, so I just keep trying new things all the time. And these Pentels are like, I don't know, 70% of them are not great. And then you'll get one that will be like the perfect brush. And it'll last a while. This one was fine until just all of a sudden, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know why. Weather change or something maybe, but all of a sudden, out of the blue, it is not fine. We'll throw a shadow here. Take care, Daniel. Yeah, this isn't gonna go on all day either. Try to only do it for like an hour, and now we've gone on for almost an hour and a half. Yeah. Well, listen, you can't win them all. I feel like this one is not my greatest achievement. Let me do some like when something's not working out, my advice is to render it until it's dead. So I'm gonna do some like little circles, like who would do this? Like some of those 70s Filipino artists would do this kind of thing. I love it. Get some of this hair flowing down here, actually. Hair flowing that way, and then maybe that boa. So it's going around, and just kind of goes like this. right. Like I said, if in doubt, over render it. There we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna maybe let's do just some. I'll leave that white space so white. Just a couple little textures to show there's like a wall there. All right, that feels better. That feels okay. All right, one panel down. One panel down. Well, hey, thanks for popping in. I'm gonna try to get back here next week. Got a commission coming up that I'm gonna need to tackle. So we'll get on that. And those of you who are waiting for your commissions, wait no more. They're going out this week, and sketchbooks and whatnot. And yeah, go back SEWER BOYZ 2. Get notified on the Kickstarter page. I'll pop it in the show notes. So until next week, take care, everybody.